Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another GQ. Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey you guys. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another G Crypto video. I'm your host Seth, and in today's video, I wanted to talk about the best cards that I got in my war deck. Alright guys, welcome back to the video. Before we move in, do me a favor, do the things, like, subscribe, all the stuff. Thank you very much. Let's move on.
Moving on.
So if you've been playing Gods Unchained for any length of time, you know that War is, I think, top 2 gods in the game, maybe top 3. War is very, very popular. It's one of the most common decks because it's a good deck. You know, it's very aggressive, very aggro, and it wins matches. I think War has one of the highest win rates of any of the 6 gods, unless I miss my guess, and I don't think I do, but it's awesome, and it's very, very fun, and it can be just a good overall deck to really just go in on your opponent and win. As much as possible. So I wanted to talk about some of my best cards that I've come across in my time and that I've cultivated over, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks of playing. So let's start with the lower mana cost cards at 1 mana cost, and that is the Boil Blood Outlaw. Now, I don't know if I've ever come up against a war deck that didn't have one of these. It is a 1 mana cost, 2/2 Viking, and then when it attacks, it gets +1 strength. So with War, you can use buffs. You can get the health up and the strength up even faster. Like if you put like a Deadly Arsenal on it, immediately first turn, if you spend a bag and you get a Deadly Arsenal and a, what's it called, a Boil Blood Outlaw, you can have a 4/3 creature for 1 mana cost, well 2 mana I guess overall, right out of the gate. Very powerful card, and especially if you're going first and your opponent doesn't have, you know, you're not playing Magic or something like that, that can, you know, wipe the board really easy with some of those spells. Very effective card, and you know, stacks really well with some of the other cards that I'm going to be getting into, things like Thundercaller, things like, you know, Inspiring War Drums or whatever it is with War, Grand Hall. I mean, there's lots of different ways. There are lots of different ways, rather. Battle Bard. There's lots of different ways to buff the Boil Blood Outlaw, and I mean, it can get out of hand really, really quick. And because it's such low mana cost, you can get it out easy, get it out fast, and start doing face damage to your opponent's god. Also at 1 mana cost, we have Vicious Rend, which is one of few sort of removal cards in the war deck that I have seen anyway. Vicious Rend just deals 3 damage to an already damaged creature. I wish that you had something in War like a Mage Bolt that could do damage, so that you could maybe do, you know, for 3 mana you could do 2 damage, 2 mana and do a damage with, like, I don't know, a fucking something, and then use Vicious Rend to immediately, you know, take 3 more damage away and take a 4 health creature off the board in the early game. Unfortunately not, but it is an awesome card nonetheless. You know, 3 damage for 1 mana cost is not bad at all. You know, Magic has the Tracking Bolt, which does 3 damage for 2 mana cost, has Starsharp Bolt, which does 4 for 2, you know, what's it called? Nature has Canopy Barrage, which is random, and that's 4 for 2, so 3 for 1 is not bad, and it's really handy in the early game. Next up, we have not a creature, but a relic. This is I believe it's 2 mana cost, I'll double check and put it here, but Enduring Shield. Enduring Shield is an awesome relic. It has 2, maybe 3 durability. I think it has 2 durability, 1 attack, and what it does is when you attack, when you use your Enduring Shield to attack, you give your best or your strongest creature Protected, and Protected is awesome, especially in a war deck. It's a big component of the strategy for a lot of war decks that I've come across, and it's just a good and solid relic to have in your deck. It's low cost, and there are cards that you can use in war to get relics into your hand faster. Hey, what you bargaining at? So Enduring Shield, definitely find one of those if you can. Next up, we have the Thundercaller. Now, the Thundercaller is an awesome war card. 3 mana cost, 3/3. However, if you're frenzied, it gains +1/+1 at the end of your turn. And what that means is with a Thundercaller, if you get 1 or 2 of them out on the board, and you start using, you know, Slayer, which is one of the best god powers, to automatically deal 2 damage to your opponent's god, you get Frenzy, and you can start racking those bad boys up real fast. I think I've gotten a Thundercaller up to as high as like 12/12 or 13/13 before, and if you can get them out early and then hopefully get something with Frontline out ahead of it, so that it has a few rounds to get up there in terms of strength, it's so good. I mean, and it's not always the Thundercaller, it just gives your strongest Viking +1/+1, but a lot of times it is your Thundercaller, and if it's not your Thundercaller, it's your Boil Blood Outlaw that we mentioned earlier. So awesome card, and I have 2 of them in my war deck. Next up, we have the Tamed Mammoth. Now, the Tamed Mammoth is a 4 mana cost, 4/5 creature, I believe.
Wrong. wrong, wrong.
And it is awesome. What Tamed Mammoth does is anytime a friendly creature takes damage, it gets +1 strength. Now, this can get real good when you have a full board and you use something like an Overproof Brew to deal one damage to all creatures, which includes your own. So if you have if you have a board that's 6 wide and you drop a Fireproof Brew, or an Overproof Brew rather, and the Tamed Mammoth is on there, it gets 6 extra strength because each of your creatures takes 1 damage, and suddenly you're looking at a Tamed Mammoth with 10/5 and protected because of the Overproof Brew. Also, if you have a frontline creature that's taking damage from enemy creatures, that every single time it takes damage, it gets +1. So it can get up there really quick. When I go up against war, whether I'm playing Magic, Nature, Death, doesn't matter. If I see a Tamed Mammoth hit the board, I gotta get it off quick. Otherwise it's gonna destroy me, because with 1 or 2 hits, a Tamed Mammoth that's been buffed enough can completely can lethal you. So Tamed Mammoth, awesome card. I pretty much see almost every war deck has at least one. Next up, I've already mentioned this card, but Overproof Brew. Overproof Brew is a 5 mana cost card that deals 1 damage to every creature on the board, including your opponents, and then you give each of your friendly creatures protected. So what this is like, it's effectively a board wipe card for you as a war deck, because if you have enough creatures, you deal 1 damage, which might already knock some of your opponent's creatures off the board, and then all your creatures get protected, so you can just pow, 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 take out all of their enemy creatures, not lose any of your own, and it also gives all of your creatures +2 strength. So, I mean, there is basically, if you have a wide enough board and you do an Overproof Brew, it's almost game over. Just because if you've got, a handful of creatures that are between 3 to 5 strength, you drop an Overproof Brew, you turn that up to, anywhere from a 5+5 to a +7, and, 3 creatures that have 4+4, say, that's 18 damage to the face and protected. So it gets out of hand really quickly. I have one in my deck, and it is an awesome card. It's, again, pretty much par for the course if you're playing a war deck. Another fantastic card, now I don't actually have one of these, but I've seen it used and it's incredibly effective, is the Redfume Serum. It gives +5/+5 to a friendly creature and burn +1. But I mean, with the +5, you basically get 5 turns until that burn brings them down to what their health was beforehand anyway. So if you put a Redfume Serum on something like a Tamed Mammoth, it gets real out of hand real fast. Or something like a Thundercaller. I mean, it's silly. And so Redfume Serum is a definite one that I need to pick up. I'm going to be looking into purchasing one, actually, probably today, because it's been used against me to some pretty devastating effect in some of my last or most recent matches. So Redfume Serum, definitely one to look out for. And finally, on my list, at 6 mana cost, we have Grendel, the Night Terror. Grendel is a legendary creature. They are 6 mana cost, 4/4. However, they have Blitz, protected, and when they attack, not when they deal damage, when they attack, they gain protected. Grendel the Night Terror is really hard to get off the board unless you're playing something like Magic that has lots of at-will damage, just because it's so hard to get past that protected, and it's a pain in the ass. So, and if you put like a Redfume Serum on Grendel the Night Terror, like fucking forget about it, because now all of a sudden you got a 9/9, creature that gets protected every single time it attacks, and I've gotten my ass kicked by someone who got one of these out, and I had a really hard time removing it because I think I was playing Nature and I didn't have any at-will damage cards, and like I said, I got my ass kicked. So Grendel the Night Terror, I mean, I got a hold of it in, I think I found it in, or got it in my pack opening video, or maybe I got it from, a weekend rank pack that I got, but card kicks ass. It's super awesome. It's in my deck, in my war deck now, and I freaking like it. It recently underwent a sort of nerf because it used to be an 8 mana cost card, and I think it was 8 mana cost 6/6. So they just brought it down to 6 mana cost and then brought it down to 4/4, which I think is almost better because it makes it so that you can play it earlier. And it still has all the awesome features, but again, just a lower mana cost, a 6-drop as opposed to an 8 or 9 or whatever the hell it was, and excellent card. But that's it, you guys. I just wanted to do a quick one, tell you about some of the best war cards that I've got that are out there, some that you can find that you can start implementing in your own decks. None of these cards are outrageously expensive except for probably Grendel, but even he's not that expensive. So if you wanted to go out there and buy some of these cards, throw them into your decks, I suggest it. They're awesome cards and they have helped me out tremendously in my matches. So that's it for today, you guys. I appreciate you sticking around. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, do all the stuff, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you guys so much, and don't forget to game it till you make it. Later, dudes.